Don't want to pay overtime, but wants overtime. I've spoken to you many times about the rules on this project, so we do not need to go over this again. 1. You must take any overtime work during the week on the Friday. 2. You cannot do overtime on the Friday. 3. You cannot negotiate this. We've been over it a million times. I am not interested in discussion. So this is how the discussion with my boss began back when I did support. To give context, this was a 2-year plan of migrating remote sites. It wasn't particularly complicated, but in order to make things smoother, we'd suggested migrating most of their data overnight. This would occur a couple of hours of overtime each week, which the company were not happy having to pay, so they insisted we take time off on the Friday instead. The problem was that 2 hours could easily jump to 4 or 5 if there was a complicated server setup and a lot of data. These were old legacy systems with terrible connections. You had to babysit them and there was zero documentation. 1 week well into the project, the migration at night takes almost 7 hours. I'm in work the follow day, Tuesday, and I'm exhausted, having had about 3 hours sleep. I'm refused the day off as it must be Friday. By Friday I have recovered and I'm looking forward to my 30-minute working day at this point. I roll in. There's been a ransomware incident at the previous week's site. I'm told to go there and help handle it. So I do. I spent my 30 minutes driving to site. Call up my boss. Hi boss. Just clocking off as it's a Friday to take my hours back. Can you send X out here now as it looks like a right mess? See you on Monday. They quickly organized overtime payments for the remaining 23 weeks the project had to run. FYI, I did get told off on the Monday for my attitude, but there was nothing they could do about it. TLD, or don't set in flexible rules, then expect flexibility. This was all on them and their cheap approach to help their clients. Good for you for making them realize that their policy was not going to work. What an idiotic policy to begin with. As if problems never happen on a Friday or data can't be migrated over weekends. That TLD should be on a coffee mug. I did get told off on the Monday for my attitude. Considering it was their policy, it was absolutely their attitude. FYI, I did get told off on the Monday for my attitude, but there was nothing they could do about it. What could they tell you off about? It seems really easy to just cite rule number 3. 3. You cannot negotiate this. We've been over it a million times. I am not interested in discussion. That rule says you're not even allowed to offer to stay longer than the 30 minutes at the site. I got burned likey that once. Worked over during the week to finish up a project and got told on Friday to go home early because they didn't want to pay overtime. Never again. Companies who think overtime costs them money are idiots. When you work a job, the company pays you wages and benefits. They also pay unemployment insurance, workers' compensation insurance, and more. All those benefits are fully paid at 40 hours. So overtime does not cost time and 1/2. That you would be a stupid nickel pincher and punish your company by cutting the work hours needed to do the job is astounding to me. There's a rule of thumb that the cost is typically 1.25 to 1.4 times the salary, depending on certain variables. So, if you pay someone a salary of $35,000, your actual costs likely will range from $43,750 to $49,000. Some added employment costs are mandatory, while others are a little harder to pin down. https://www.sbaa.gov/blog/how much does employee cost you? In California this is illegal. Anything after 8 hours is 1.5x wages. After 12 is 2x wages. The hours cannot be traded for time off. Sounds like an MSP. They're terrible on anything involving extra money. You didn't get told off for your attitude, you got told off for their stupidity laughing face. Why? Why do companies not respect the keep who keep them running? Like their decision probably ruined a whole day of business. I get trying to rein in unchecked overtime. But every policy needs exceptions. It amazes me how IT companies don't understand their industry sometimes. This all could have been avoided with working 4 10-hour days and staggering the staff so some have off Monday, 3-day weekend, and some have off Friday, 3-day weekend. I do not understand what some companies have against 4/10s. Pro tip: whenever your boss is asking you to do something that may be illegal or contrary to the terms of your employee handbook, get it in writing. Missed opportunity to work an extra 30 minutes on Thursday. Why would your Friday be 30 minutes? Time in lieu is still 1.5x. If you worked 7 hours OT on Monday, you're owed 7 hours 1.5. Whether it's pay or time, you should have taken 10.5 hours off that week. Finishing early on Thursday. Should have spent 15 minutes driving to the site so you had 15 to drive back to your workplace. Because that is all supposed to be paid time. If you're in the US anyway. I hope you build them for the 30-minute drive home. Isn't comp time illegal in the US? You can't replace OT hours with straight time hours. Even if you factor in the OT rate, OT pays 1.5x. So you get 1.5x hours off. Still not allowed. Time off in lieu must be at 1.5x for starters.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.